I didn't plan on bringing this up till in later videos, but since there was a video made again by Little Timmy on Authorized Version Bible Ministries, yeah, that's the name of his, quote, ministry, unquote. He made a video trying to deal with the video I did when kiddos play theology. And he tried to actually use exegesis to interpret the scripture, 1 Corinthians 15, which he did not. He didn't stick to the text. He had to use proof texts. That's what dispensationalists have to do. They have to take their theology. Their ideas, their man-made theology, not something that is taking from the Bible, but rather eisegesis rather than exegesis. They have to force something into the text that's not even there. And that's exactly what he did. But I want to let Timothy know that I was wrong. I'm wrong about dispensationalism. I didn't realize it until somebody refreshed my memory on this. There was dispensationalists before John Nelson Darby. In fact, I don't know why I didn't bring this up sooner, but Francisco Ribera, I mean, he was the first person to really bring forth dispensationalism. He did a wonderful job on the rapture, the secret rapture, and Jesus Christ coming twice, which would be the secret rapture and the second coming. Did really good on teaching dispensationalism. In fact, creating, for the most part, dispensational thought. In fact, Francisco Ribera was a Jesuit priest. Now, you guys like to talk about Jesuits, and I'm not a conspiracy theory or a paranoid schizophrenic like Brian Denlinger and his followers. But if you can find it in history and read it and actually read the books that are out there regarding the subject, you will see that Francisco Ribera was the creator of futurism or dispensationalism. In fact, the Jesuits were commissioned by the Pope to develop a new interpretation of Scripture that would counteract the Protestant application of the Bible's prophecies regarding the Antichrist to the Roman Catholic Church. Now, when I say that, I don't exactly agree with what Martin Luther said. I understand that the Pope is an Antichrist, but I don't think he's the Antichrist that is talking about in the dispensational viewpoint. But they had to counteract that. And the way they did that is they commissioned Francisco Ribera to come up with an eschatology that would get the Roman Catholic Church out of the eyes of the Protestants and counteract the Protestant Reformation. And that's exactly what he did. And what did he come up with? Dispensationalism, a secret rapture. The man of sin would be the Antichrist, but that would happen in the future at the end of time. The 7-year tribulation period. All these things were done and were the foundation of it and were done by Francisco Ribera. And that was picked up by other people in the future. And like Cardinal Bellarmine agreed with Ribera and his work. And then he started putting out tracts about this so-called future tribulation and future secret rapture. And the sad thing is the church for the last 150 plus years has actually ate of the corruption of Rome. And now people like Tim and Brian Denlinger are spewing out these Jesuit doctrines that were commissioned by the Pope in the 1500s. So, Tim, here's an open challenge for you. Now, I know that you consider me a heretic, and you already given my first and second admonition, right? But then you're supposed to just completely deny me and not talk to me and walk away. I would call your interpretation of that false, for one, and so I would say this. If you do not want to debate, you're a coward. If you believe you have the truth, say you have the truth, you know it for sure, that is the truth, and you can prove it biblically, historically, and you can lay out an argument. You are commissioned, not by the Jesuits. Well, what you're doing is commissioned by the Jesuits, but you are commissioned by God to defend the hope that resides in you. You are to fight the good fight of faith. So if you don't want to take on this challenge, I'll consider you a coward and I'll move on. But I will be dealing with the Jesuits and how they formed futurism or dispensationalism here in the future. Right now, I got other things to do. I'm working on a commentary on the book of Revelation, going verse by verse through it, and it's taken me a lot longer than I thought. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, your group of friends and buddies, you guys do not read. You don't know church history. You don't read important material for apologetic work. If you're going to say something about somebody or about their theology, you better know both sides of the systems. You better know your own system and where it came from. So if you're okay with being a Jesuit, which I don't think you're a Jesuit, I just know you're Jesuit trained because you're trained by the eschatology of Francisco Ribera. So that's all I got to say here. I think it's just kind of funny. I was watching the video and laughing because he takes everything out of context and can't stick with the context of 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And then he has to force, which is eisegesis, force his interpretations into the text and not let the text speak for itself. Well, Tim, I'm up to it anytime you are. Live debate. If you have the truth, you have nothing to be fearful of. But I'll be waiting for you. Till next time, good day. God bless.